Hey y'all, it's Crystal from Triple C Creations Crafting here in North Georgia, and I want to talk to you today about some scrap cardstock. That's kind of a tongue twister, that I got maybe about a year ago at the thrift store. So everything I'm using today, I say about everything, catch me if I lie, but it is like scrap. It's stuff I've already got. It's Dollar Tree. It's thrift store stuff. So I found this huge stack of 6x6 cardstock, like I said, about a year ago, and I bought it for really nothing. I mean, it was a couple of dollars, not $2 or $3 maybe. So I went through, you see all these clothespins in here. I went through and I tried to organize it by what I thought was like collections or things that may have come together. And I think what happened, I don't know that these were 6x6 pads. I think maybe these were 12x12 pads or 12x12 papers, and somebody cut them up into 6x6. So I got them and I've organized them, and really they've just kind of sat in my paper box with my stickers and things like that. And I decided I wanted to use them up. 6x6 is kind of it's bigger than a card front, so it's not like they can just go in my card front stack. I've pulled out a few to do die cuts with, but some of these that are sets, I want to use them up and make card sets. These would make great gifts to give people, and that's what I'm working on today. So let me show you what I got. I pulled out this set of paper, and as you can see, I've already started cutting on it. There was, I don't know, 5 or 6 pieces of this that I thought coordinated. Now, it may not have all originally come together, but I thought it coordinated. So I started cutting it up, and like I said, these started with 6x6. So the first thing I would do is I cut a card front out of here. Okay, now let me back up just a second and let me talk about my card bases. So my card bases, these are not A2 cards, because these are envelopes that were left over from something else, or I bought them at the thrift store in like a pack of odd envelopes. Yes, I do that. These are not marked. This one actually says it's a Hallmark envelope, Hallmark stationery. So they're even mismatched envelopes. And then I just made me some card bases to go with these. So even the envelopes, card bases, I did have to use cardstock for card bases, but the envelopes are thrifted or used. Well, I won't say used, they're not used, but I didn't like go buy them, and they're odd shapes. So I'm trying to use up some of my odd stuff. So I'm also trying to use up my odd envelopes and making card bases and using them up. So if I start with a 6x6 sheet, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut me a card base from this. So let me find the one that I did. Okay, so here's my 6x6, and I cut a card base. So there's my card base, and that left me with these 2 pieces. And I want to use these. All this paper coordinates, so I'm just going to set these aside. Here's my card base. Now, my card bases are white. Doesn't really match this. My envelopes are white too. So I took some ink and I just blended around a couple of card bases with things that I thought matched. Didn't do pink. Excuse me. So, stray hair. I have curly hair, so it's everywhere. Now, one other thing I can do to this, and I think I'm going to, is let's emboss it. And I'm just going to pull out, I like this embossing folder. I use it a lot. It's actually like a 5x7. I use it a lot. It's just leaves, so it's kind of generic. So I've got my Dollar Tree little spray bottle here. Just going to spritz it with a little bit of water. I don't know if I got enough resistance on that. Let's do it again. I'm gonna add a shim. And if you watched my video on my embossing machine, the only like plate I have, the base plate, and then I use one of the cutting plates, and everything else is other things. So like this is some cardboard that's glued together. I think that's 2 sheets. This is actually a cutting board from the Dollar Tree that I use as a shim, and it wasn't quite tight enough, so I'm gonna add another shim in there. And there we go. And then my cutting plate, if you saw it when I took it out, this is just a cutting board. It's supposed to be one of those self-healing ones that I think this one actually came from the Dollar General. It was $5 for, I think it actually only went up to 11. If you count the margins, it would have been 12, but the ruler I think only went to 11. But I cut it up, got two good out of that. So I've built my sandwich based on the width of the thickness of that. All right. So got my card base, card front, and when you emboss it, it really just adds something to it. It almost looks like a quilt. I really like making the quilt fronts. I've been doing that with some scraps too. Piecing your scraps and then running it through your embossing machine, and it makes it look like it has been quilted. Okay. So I've got my card bases made. I've inked some of them up. I've got my coordinating cardstock that I'm going to be using. So then I also went to my sticker stash, embellishments, you might want to say. And these all came from the Dollar Tree. These are all from sticker sets in the Dollar Tree. And just looking at my collection, I picked out ones that I thought would match. Now, this is a very busy background, so I could go straight to the sentiment. Let's see. Memories. That's a pretty thing. I don't know about memories for a card though. I think that clock would be cool. It's even got roses on it that kind of match the flowers. I'd still have to have a sentiment. Ooh, even this hummingbird. Ooh, I like that hummingbird. I like the teal and the teal on the side here. But then I need a sentiment. So these are some that I made. I've talked about them before. I print these on my printer. And then I run them through on my silhouette and cut them out. And so I'll do like a page of happy birthday, all different fonts. And I'll do like a page of pink cardstock and gray cardstock. And this is kind of cream cardstock. I think I want to mat that though. So let me go through my scraps over here and maybe find a mat. Let's see. That would work. And actually, since there's lines, I think I can just cut this without even pulling out my paper cutter. Does anybody else struggle with doing flags, like the ends of flags, if it's a double? And you know doing it on camera is even worse. I'm a teacher, so it's always like doing it in front of students. Because if it can mess up, that's when it will mess up. That makes it pop putting on that tail. All right, so, and the hummingbird actually already has some glitter and a rhinestone on it. So I think I'm not going to add anything else. Now the goal here is to use up this scrap paper. I don't want any left over. Oh, good thing it dries clear. And with that embossed background, you're not going to notice either. I could pop this up, but that the nose of that hummingbird is, I think I've already bent it, so I'm gonna glue it down. I'm just gonna glue it straight down, so I don't have to worry about it getting messed up again. I think I'm gonna put it over here. All right, and there's my card, my first card. So actually, it's not my first card. I made a couple others that I'll show you. Other things I could do though is I could even take this scrap. And I could put it inside here. And I could make it a flag if I wanted to. But I think I'm just going to glue it down like it is. Just to add a pop of color to the inside. All right. And if you want to go even further instead of doing that, I could have taken this and really made it a flag and put it on the front of this one. Okay, on the front of my envelope. I can also take my envelope if I want it to match and run it through my embossing. So thinking about when you're making like sets and you're really wanting to make things that match. You've already got the folder out. You've already got your little spray bottle of water. But doesn't that just add a very personal touch? All right, so let's see. Let's look at some of the other cards I've made. So this is the one we just made with our matching envelope. It's a little bit, you can kind of see through it, still down. But I made that one. I made this one. It's another Dollar Tree sticker. And with that one, I put some matching flags on the front of the envelope. That sentiment was from some card collection or paper collection I've had. It just says congrats, but you could do happy birthday there. So there's that. Here's one that I had inked up the background. I did butterflies. These butterflies were not from the same set as the hummingbird, but they kind of match because they've got the glitter. It's the craft cardstock, and I used one of my sentiments, and I actually inked this one up to match. I didn't have anything that was kind of pinkish. And I embossed this background just like I did the other one, and embossed my envelope to match. And then here's another one. I did brown around the edge of this. And honestly, this one, to do the edge of this, I didn't even use like a blending brush. I actually just took the ink pad and just kind of rubbed it on it because my ink pad was kind of dry. And then I added some flags on the inside of this card. All right, let's do another one. So, here we go. A 6x6. Trying to figure out if there's a right and a wrong. I don't know if there's really an upside and downside to this one. And this is my thrift store paper cutter too. So let me remember how wide my cards are. Remember, these are odd cards, so I can't just go by my regular measurements. Oops. I did not push down hard enough on that. Still learning how to use it. All right, so there's my card base. Let's use one of my, let's see, I've got both of these inked up. I think I like the brown one better. I need to get some more brown ink. This is one, it's real light, and it's actually about dried up. I had to add some, I added some glycerin last night just so I could get this out of it. Let's see, I think I'm going to emboss it. I like embossing if I'm just doing a solid background. Probably didn't need to do two on that. First one didn't feel like it had a lot come out though. And while I'm doing my card front, I think I'm just going to go ahead and do my envelope too. Really think it just makes the set special to have that matching. And I spend a lot of time looking through my embossing folders, trying to find the perfect one, and I end up like coming back to the same ones every time. I may end up getting rid of some of mine. Because I tend to use like this kind more often. Why? I got words on mine. I'll have to redo that. Oh, goodness. Okay, so here's my card front. I think I want to round the corners on this. I haven't done that. This actually came from the thrift store too. Brand new. I think I did pay $8 for it. I kind of resisted it and looked at it for a long time, or several times, several trips, before I gave it and bought it. And they're about, I think, $25 new. So it's got the 1/2 inch and the 1/4 inch rounders. And if you're making a lot of cards or using like real thick cardstock, it's nice. I have a smaller, like the square one that's got 3 different sizes too. So just rounding the corners really adds to that. Now I think some string or buttons on this would look really good. This is kind of a vintage print. This is a very busy print too. So you really, I don't think, need to do a lot with it. So here's some more of those thrift store embellishments. And I think I'm just going to do a happy birthday on this and a flower. I'm going to kind of keep this one simple again because the background is so busy. There we go. So there's another card. I'll have to redo the envelope for that one. All right, let's do one more. So let's look at, I've got these scraps now. Here's a scrap. This is actually a layered scrap from something else. And let's see. Look at this piece I haven't even cut yet. Ooh, what about that? I think that would look good. Let's get our cutter back up here. And I think I want to do it like this. Oh, I gotta cut that off. But let's just go ahead and glue it down. If you are not using art glitter glue, man, you are missing out. I resisted a long time. The whole thing about it's got to ship when it's warm enough, and it's pretty expensive, but it does last a long time. And man, it makes crafting so much easier. All right, so let me get a card base. So I got this one inked up, but that really does not match. So let's just go with a white card base. And then you saw me mess up and get glue a little bit too far on this. I'm going to make it a little flag, and I'm going to stick it inside. Just like that. All right, so now if you'd wanted to, this card panel before I glued it down, you could have ran that whole thing through your embossing folder too. All right. What do we want to put on the front? Could even layer it some more. Nah, that's too much. And again, these are Dollar Tree stickers. So if you have not bought stickers at the Dollar Tree, you are missing out. Some of these match it too good. They kind of blend in. Remember I said earlier I thought buttons would look good. I think I want to put that on it. And then that flower actually blends in really good, but then it gives it just a pop because it is 3D and the background really blends in. Like you can't even, it looks like it's made for it. Dollar Tree. All right, so let's recap. Let's look at all of our cards together. Should we do something to the envelope of this one? Haven't done anything to the envelope of this one. Let's do this. And if these are glued down well on the envelope, they should not have any trouble going through the mail. Or I've not had any trouble with them going through the mail. But, all right, so clear our workspace. So we have that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. So we've got 6, and that will be a perfect set to tie up with a little string and give to somebody. Hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you like my video and subscribe.